You have now, don't count what you don't have. Can't you see, can't you see?
All right, we're live.
All right, awesome. So, hi everyone, welcome to our tour of Blockeley. My name is Ava, or if you're following me in game, I'm Blazing17. I'm a recent graduate of the Departments of French and Molecular and Cell Biology, so I'm actually an alum. And right now, I am in the LA Orange County area, but I'm excited to show you around Berkeley. So, to start us off, here are some quick facts about Berkeley. We were founded in 1868, which makes us the flagship UC campus. Technically, all other UCs are just branch campuses of Berkeley. And in fact, that's why in athletics, we are called the California Golden Bears, or why we are referred to as Cal in sports. We are a large public school with 32,000 undergrads and 12,000 grad students, give or take, and we run on the semester system. So right now, we are outside California Memorial Stadium. It seats about 63,000 people, and when it is safe, this is where the whole campus can come to games. We have about 13 men's sports and 15 women's sports, but that doesn't begin to include the large intramural and club sports involved by students who aren't collegiate athletes. Memorial Stadium is also where the campus-wide graduation takes place, and this Minecraft version is where our virtual graduations take place. So, as I mentioned before, we are the Golden Bears. You'll find that we have about 27 bears scattered around campus. I think we have our first one coming up right here, so if y'all want to follow me. Here is our first bear. I'm not going to point all of them out. I'm not even sure all of them are in the Minecraft version, but these are definitely fun Easter eggs that you can actually find around campus in real life. So let's make our way to Haas. Right across from us here, we have Haas School of Business. It's one of the top business schools, but it also has an equally competitive undergraduate program, so you can actually major in business while you were here. Notably, Berkeley likes to couple business with innovation and problem solving, so there are even undergraduate majors that specifically tie business with engineering or business with biology. We're going to start making our way down this road here, and I can talk while we're moving. As I mentioned, Haas is a graduate school, one of 9 in Berkeley. Berkeley also has some top-ranked graduate schools for public health, optometry, social welfare, education, information, journalism, public health, public policy, and law. The law school is where we're headed towards right now. Although there are plenty of graduate opportunities, for this tour, I'm going to focus on the undergraduate school, since I think most people here are incoming freshmen, incoming transfer students, and there are 5 undergraduate colleges here at Berkeley. We have environmental design, letters and sciences, chemistry, engineering, and natural resources. We're going to stop by each of these on the tour. So as we're making our way this way, we're coming towards Bancroft. I just kind of want to point out that on the left-hand side here is International House. So International House is basically like a dormitory, but it's not part of the normal campus housing system. Typically, it houses international students, but you can actually be a domestic student and apply to live in there. It has its own separate system for housing and dining, but it's a really cool building that's part of Berkeley's history. So here we are coming towards Berkeley Law. It's really pretty inside. Even though Berkeley Law is a graduate school, or just a professional school, there are opportunities to still get involved with professional schools while you are undergraduate at Berkeley. So for instance, I have been part of like the Human Rights Center undergraduate lab here, and the other graduate schools have similar programs as well. All right, so we come to our first entrance to campus. These are the anthropology and art buildings. We even have a museum of anthropology towards that side over there. It's free to Cal students, and they have really cool exhibitions, including exhibitions on things that like impact your brain, like sugar. All right, so here we are at Worcester. The first college on our tour is the College of Environmental Design, which is based here in Worcester Hall. Some people say that it looks like a dragon in real life. So this building, or this college, it comprises of 3 main departments: architecture, landscape architecture, and urban studies. You'll also find city planning and sustainable development here. The College of Environmental Design is our smallest undergraduate school, and that makes it really homey. So a lot of people get to know each other, especially as they work on studio projects. Inside the building, there are designated studio spaces where students can keep their tools inside lent desks and stay to work on projects for as long as they like. So if you are a really late night out or a really early bird, you can work in there whenever you want. We're going to head towards this way. If we were to walk further that way, we would see Berkeley's optometry school. While that is a professional school, they sometimes offer undergraduate freshman seminars in vision science. Freshman seminars are small weekly classes that aim to introduce new freshmen to some interesting topics regardless of major. Now, past Worcester, these buildings here are for the music department. That green building is the music library, and these are Hertz Hall and Morrison Hall. Hertz Hall is where the music department puts on concerts and performances. It's an auditorium. They even host weekly concerts free for students in a variety of music genres. And this is Morrison. Morrison is like general classrooms, but it also has piano rooms downstairs. Priority is for music majors and minors, but any student can apply for access. So if you play the piano or if you play another instrument and you just want a soundproof space to practice, you can check out this area here. And I think I noticed that someone fell in the swimming pool, and yes, that's because the swimming pool and the gymnasium, or at least the PE class gymnasium, is further down that way. But we're going to head towards here. Now we're coming to Faculty Glade, which is also known as 4.0 Hill. According to campus legend, if you roll down the hill before the semester begins, you'll get a 4.0 GPA that semester. Now, in Minecraft, running down the hill counts too, obviously. So if y'all want to run down the hill, get that 4.0. And while we are doing that, I'll talk a little bit about Faculty Club, which is this building over here. Faculty Club used to house professors when the campus was smaller, but now it's a meeting space for professors, and it has dining services for professors too. Even though the building is for faculty, sometimes professors invite students for food here. I had a math professor who regularly invited students to breakfast. But even if your professor doesn't offer that, all professors hold office hours, and that is a great way to know your professor and ask for help with class material. You know, professors are humans too, and from what I hear, they wish more people would attend their office hours, in all honesty. So that is definitely something I would encourage when you come to college, is take the opportunity to attend office hours, even just to say hi and introduce yourself. All right, so here we are making our way past buildings used for science courses, namely physics and chemistry. Speaking of which, Berkeley has a fantastic chemistry program. It's actually its own separate college. So 3 popular majors in the College of Chemistry include chemistry, chemical bio, and chemical engineering. Now, as a research campus, Berkeley has made groundbreaking discoveries in chemistry, including discovering 16 different elements on our campus. We are the only university in the world to have elements named after us, and we have 2, berkelium and californium. I just kind of want to point out this red building that we have over here. That's Pimentel Hall, and it is a huge lecture hall that can hold about 500 or so people. It's normally where your lower division science classes are held, but it's really cool because the front of the lectern spins. So if you get to class early or if you stick around afterwards, you can see them use the turntable that's on the floor. All right, but now we are standing in Hearst Mining Circle, which is the center of a collection of STEM buildings. If you're taking a chemistry, physics, biochemistry, math, or engineering course, there's a good chance that it will be here. This will also be a familiar place if you enroll in the College of Engineering. The College of Engineering has 9 different departments, the most popular of which is electrical engineering and computer science. And they even include interdepartmental majors. Typically, College of Engineering is quite expansive, so it gets its own dedicated tour, especially because it is centered around the north side of campus. You might be able to notice that over here, there are stairs leading further up. And that will make the in-person tour a lot longer and an even more arduous climb. But some of the highlights of the college include its engineering services in Bechtel over there, which is another library, and CalSol, a solar car engineering competition team, Concord Canoe, Pioneers in Engineering, a high school robotics mentorship club, and even more, a plethora of engineering clubs. There's also a makerspace in one of the buildings further up north, and it's equipped with laser cutting machines and 3D printers, which Berkeley students can apply for access to. So we're going to make our way towards the Campanile, but just really quickly, that building that I'm looking at right now, that is Hearst Memorial Mining Building. It's really pretty inside. The Engineering Student Council, they sometimes host events in there. The building that's further to the east is Stanley, and that's where the sort of biochemistry classes are. East to the south are chemistry and physics. And this here is Evans Hall, which holds a lot of general classrooms and is the mathematics building. Oh, and it also has its own library inside. Chemistry has its own library too at Hildebrand Hall. So as we come down here, we'll see our campus clock and bell tower. Officially known as Sather Tower, it's affectionately known as the Campanile for the Italian bell tower that it was modeled after. It's 307 blocks tall, with a 64 bell carillon at the top. The in-person Campanile was built in 1914, and we just like to boast that it's taller than Stanford's. The Campanile rings on the hour, so your professors know when to stop talking, and also has 3 concerts a day, where they might play pieces from pop culture like TV theme songs or Disney tunes. The concerts are actually played by Berkeley students who study the carillon, which is the instrument at the top. You can take class in the music department where you learn how to play. You can also take a decal to learn. A decal is a class taught by students for students, usually on fun topics like design, mentorship, and Pokemon. Another fun fact, the Campanile also houses dinosaur fossils. 5 floors of the Campanile are used to store these fossils, as well as fossils of other organisms from the La Brea tar pits here in Los Angeles. So during normal business hours, you can visit the top of the Campanile when the campus fully reopens, and it's a free trip for Cal students, but open to the public for a pretty small entry fee. And I'm not going to fly up there right now, but actually at the top of the tower, there is a nest of peregrine falcons, which is actually there in real life. I don't really know the story of those falcons as much as some other people, but it's really cool and they're really cute. All right, so coming down this way, we will be passing by Bancroft Library, which is the library that is right in front of us. Bancroft Library houses a lot of historical and archival documents. For instance, Mark Twain papers are stored here. They also have historical printing presses in there. It's pretty cool. And the library does offer class tours of their inventory. When I was on one, I have a picture of a tiny Bible that fits in the palm of my hand next to a pretty big Bible that's about the size of a 3-inch binder, maybe even bigger. So that's Bancroft Library. Now we are going to walk a little towards the right, and we are arriving at Memorial Glade. So as we are coming here, I have to warn you all, if you're with me in the tour, or if you're just visiting campus in real life, this thing on the ground right here, don't step on it. So this is what we call the seal, or the Memorial Glade seal. There are 3 of them around the glade, and they commemorate the faculty, staff, and students who served in World War II. But legend has evolved that nowadays, it's discouraged to step on the seal, because if you step on the seal, you'll lose your chance of getting a 4.0 GPA. So I'm sorry to whoever just stepped on there. So if you step on the seal, as the legend says, the only way to fix your 4.0 is to run immediately to the Campanile and kiss the 4.0 ball that is on in front of it. Although for the sake of your health, maybe just take your chances with the lower GPA. The interesting thing about the seal is that even though many people don't take any real stock in the superstition, it is such a habit to just not walk on the seal. So even on busy days, you'll see that lines will part around the seal. And I've definitely done this subconsciously myself. So here we are at Memorial Glade. This is a popular hangout spot for students. On a slow day, you might see hammocks, picnics set up. People like to play frisbee and soccer here. Sometimes students' organizations have movie nights here, or they'll invite llamas to de-stress. So why is it a nice place to relax? Well, being here means that we aren't hunkered down in the libraries, of which we have 24 on campus. We passed by Bancroft Library earlier and the music library, but here we can also see Doe, which is this really magnificent traditional historical library. Moffat, which is further down that way, the modern library with a designated noise floor, and East Asian Library to our back, which contains comprehensive collections of material on East Asian languages. We can technically see a couple of other buildings that have their own libraries, but these are the big ones. However, what you see is not necessarily all that there is. You might notice that just in front of Doe Library, there are kind of glass blocks over there, and those glass blocks are an indication of our underground library. We have an underground library named Main Stacks or Gardner, and those are the skylights towards that library. That's probably where you'll find most of the materials you need for your classes. That would be in Main Stack. Main Stacks is accessible through Doe and through Moffat. So while we're here, I just want to mention another Berkeley superstition. Above the entrance to Doe, there is the likeness of Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom. Legend says that if you walk through that door, she will bless your studies and you will do well on your exam. But if you walk out the same door and turn your back to her, she will curse you and your grades. So to avoid getting cursed, some people do their best to find another exit out of the library, or they'll walk out of the door backwards. We'll skip the potential curses and come here through Moffat. Moffat is the 24-hour library, meaning that you can come here at any hour, any day to study. It has 5 floors. We're entering on the 4th floor. The first couple of floors are classrooms and the media lab. The 3rd floor leads to the Free Speech Movement Cafe, dedicated to the free speech movement, for which the campus is widely known for. And it also has the entrance to the underground library. Yeah, someone pointed out that we just stepped on another seal. There are 3 of them around the glade. So back here at Moffat, we are on the 4th floor, and this is called the buzz floor. Here you are allowed and encouraged to talk at your normal volume, and it's where people tend to come for group work. You're also allowed to eat here, I think, which is nice. If you prefer the quiet though, upstairs is the quiet floor on the 5th floor, and that floor also houses nap pods, so you can take a break from studying. All right, so I see someone found a kiwi bot, or someone is a kiwi bot. So let's exit Moffat and let us head down this path. So we are passing by, I think this is California Hall. And California Hall is where the administration offices are. Where we're heading towards right now is Valley Life Sciences building. But before we get there, if we were to head further towards the northwest part of campus, that would bring us to the College of Natural Resources, or recently renamed the Rouser College of Natural Resources. That is the undergraduate college with an environmental focus. So some of the majors there include environmental science, genetics and plant bio, environmental economics, toxicology, and conservation and resource study. While I'm talking about majors again, I should mention that at Berkeley, it is possible to double major across the different college campuses. What that means is that if you fulfill both colleges' general education requirements, you can graduate with 2 degrees when you finish both majors' coursework. You can also switch colleges. When you apply to Berkeley, you don't need to declare a major right away, but you'll be put into one college based on the type of major you are interested in. Sometimes along the way, you find out that the major you really want to do is in a different college, so you can talk to an advisor and apply to switch colleges. So we're going to head towards this direction into the building. Normally during the tour, they point out that this circle that some of you are standing on right now, if you were to stand at a specific spot, because of physics and sound waves, you can actually hear the echo. Well, anyway, let's head into the building. Now, with double majoring, it is also possible to double major within the same college, which is what I did. When I was an undergrad, I was in the College of Letters and Sciences, which is the most expansive college in terms of the majors it offers. I double majored in French and molecular and cell bio, and this building that we are in right now is home to my biology major. Valley Life Sciences building, or more commonly called VOSB. We really like acronyms here at Berkeley in case you've noticed me slipping up in some previous sections. This building is our natural sciences building. It has general classrooms, but upstairs is where the biology labs and advising are. You might be noticing that we are again at another library. And I kind of want to point out that even though it's not very clear in Minecraft, this is in real life, this is a completed reconstructed cast skeleton. This is T-Rex. In real life, I think there's a pterodactyl too. Someone put giraffe, 1 million BCE, but yes, it's a T-Rex here in real life. So the cool thing about that is that it was Berkeley researchers who helped put together the first sort of fully reconstructed skeleton of a T-Rex. The real one is in the Smithsonian, but we have the replica. And the reason for that is because Berkeley is also a research university, and it has opportunities for undergraduates to engage with that research. Campus-wide, there is the Undergraduate Research Apprenticeship Program, which partners faculty and researchers with undergraduates looking to get their foot into research. They can also cover various topics from cell biology to social behavior to app design. Personally, I participated in a few semesters of this program. One project looking at DNA sequencing and forensic science, another project looking at conservation efforts in Mozambique, and another one looking at privacy literacy. There's a ton of cool stuff. Now, aside from campus-wide programs, sometimes departments have their own research programs as well. In addition, your major probably will have some kind of honors program where seniors conduct original research and present their thesis. All right, so as we're heading towards this way, we're going to head towards Sprout. But before we get there, we are going to pass by Dwinell. Now, Dwinell is probably the building I consider my home on campus. It is famous for being confusing. Sometimes we call it the freshman maze, because the floors don't quite match up. But personally, maybe it's just because I spent so much time in here. I think it's part of the charm. Dwinell is home to our last undergraduate college, Letters and Sciences. Letters and Sciences is our liberal arts college on campus, and it is the largest college on campus. It encompasses a ton of majors, including my other major, French, and it is the largest. And it encourages us to have a holistic education. That's what the liberal arts part of it means. So we take classes in arts and literature, biological science, historical studies, international studies, philosophy and values, physical science, and social and behavioral studies. Dwinell also contains a lot of general purpose classrooms and lecture halls. So at Berkeley, a lot of classes, especially the large ones, operate on the lecture discussion format. The lecture part of class is what you see in most movies and TV shows about college, a professor lecturing at the front of a large room using a PowerPoint or Blackboard. Then there's the 25 to 30 person discussion section, which are led by graduate student instructors. Now, as the name suggests, these are grad students who help you better understand the material after the professor has lectured about it. Now, not all classes are so large that you need lecture and discussion sections. Some classes are smaller, so the lecture section is just led by the professor, and it also functions as a discussion. All right, so now we are arriving at Sather Gate, which is the famous gateway to our campus. On typical days, you can find clubs flyering here, a cappella groups putting on performances, and visitors taking pictures. Now, we've had a lot of academic talk, and while Berkeley is certainly known for its academics, it wouldn't be quite as fun or interesting if we didn't have an extracurricular life. So right now, we are making our way through Sprout Plaza, which is the hub for clubs on campus. We have over 3,000 student organizations, and the school puts on 2 big club fairs every year at the beginning of each semester to help you figure out what you might want to join. Whatever you imagine, there's probably a club for it. And you can see here that some are actually advertising here in Blockeley Sprout. Personally, I was part of ARC Repertory, which is a theater club, and Science Olympiad, which might be familiar to some of you because we help put on competitions for middle and high school students. Berkeley is also famous for its political protests. Now, this stems from the free speech movement that took place in 1964. Students peacefully protested via lock-ins, rallies, their rights for free speech on campus. Because of this, Berkeley, particularly Sprout Plaza, it's a historic spot to hold protests. Now, I know that the word protest can conjure up different images for people, so I just want to say that if you aren't participating in the protest and you're heading to class or the library, the protests usually don't disturb classes since, as you can see, there are no classrooms around Sprout. So we're actually making our way towards the front of campus. And as you can see, Berkeley is in an urban environment, so once you step off campus, you pretty much have access to whatever Berkeley, the city, has to offer. So a bunch of shops here. If we head down further this direction or that direction, you run into the BART, which is sort of like a subway for the Bay Area. We're going to take a detour this way. We're passing the 51B. This is the famous bus that runs through the city of Berkeley. And we're heading towards the dorms. So first year and transfer students get priority for student housing. This means that as long as they select any room, any location for their fifth option in the housing lottery, they will get a room. And I can't stress that enough. If you want some kind of campus housing, make sure your fifth choice is any room, any location. So any of the housing options, they are included with dining plans. There are 4 large dining halls near each of the dorms, and you can use your meal points or swipes to gain access to the all-you-can-eat buffets at each, or buy snacks or coffee at on-campus locations. Other dorm perks include academic centers, residence hall events, and security check-ins. There are also many rec rooms in many of the dorms. So the dorm that we're looking at right now is Blackwell. This is our newest dorm, but we also have Unit 3, which is one normal street block down that direction. And we have Units 1 and 2, which are closer to the law school and iHouse that we saw from earlier in the tour. So these 4 types of dorms, these are high-rise dorms, and they are all on the south side of campus. Another dorm is Clark Kerr, which is a little further away from campus, but it's large. It's where a lot of athletes live because of the facilities there. And we also have Stern and Foothill, which are located near Memorial Stadium, where we started the tour. So Clark Kerr, Stern, and Foothill, those dorms are arranged as suites, so the buildings are a little bit more sprawled out and shorter. Where to live? Well, it depends on various things. For instance, personality and what sort of balance you want to strike between social communities, study areas, and space. Personally, I lived at Unit 1 as a freshman. Afterwards, as a sophomore and through graduation, I lived off campus in an apartment. That's pretty common. If you're an upperclassman, a lot of people tend to live off campus in an apartment or a co-op or frat. All right, so if we keep going, we will see RSF. I'm not going to go all the way over there, but just to show you what it looks like, that building is RSF, which is our main gym. Everyone gets RSF membership with their tuition, and it's a fully functioning gym, which I admittedly did not take as much advantage of as I should have. There's also a basketball court there, a track, a soccer stadium, and more. You can join sports clubs where you compete against other schools, or intramural sports where you compete against other UC Berkeley teams. RSF also has classes and group workout sessions led by some really nice and encouraging instructors, some of whom are also students just like you. So whether you're someone who likes to frequent the gym or you're someone who's looking to get started, I definitely recommend taking advantage of RSF. Otherwise, you're only going to be in RSF for career fairs and large courses final exams. Also further down this street, it's a little bit past that beige-ish building over there, is the Tank Center, the Student Health Center for UC Berkeley. Every student can use it, regardless of whether you have the UC-provided health insurance or not. Tank Center offers medical services, as well as counseling and psychological services and pharmacy. I noticed a question in the chat that asked about if there's rock climbing services. Not quite a rock climbing wall as you might imagine, of like a fully dedicated rock climbing gym, but they do have like climbing, like rope climbing services. I don't really know what to call them. It's part of something called Cal Adventures. It's not really included in the price of the gym membership or the gym, but it is something that Cal offers. So we're going to, if we were to continue straight ahead, we would actually go back to Valley Life Sciences building, but we're going to turn towards the right, back towards Sproul. Right now we are passing through Haas Pavilion, which is where our division basketball team plays. And over here is Alumni House, which is, well, for alumni. This over here, I will talk a little bit more about this later, but this is Zellerbach Hall. This is a full-size theater, which is used for performances by both student organizations and professional artists. I saw Idina Menzel here in concert. Idina Menzel is the voice of Elsa from Frozen and has many Broadway credits, if you weren't familiar with who she is. Cal Performances usually books several concerts and performances here each season. Some of these also take place in the Greek Theater, which is located near Memorial Stadium, where we started the tour. Now, over here, this building is Cesar Chavez. It's home to many of our student services. At the top level, that is the Golden Bear Cafe. So you can use your meal swipes or your points over here. They offer like quick food options and snacks and coffee. Downstairs is where my second home, the Student Learning Center, is. So the Student Learning Center is the largest provider of undergraduate academic support on campus with tutoring services in writing, math, econ, science, and sociology. It also overlooks my favorite program, the language exchange program, which isn't a tutoring service, but an opportunity to practice languages and meet new people, regardless of whether you're in the language class or not. Also in Cesar Chavez are the Educational Opportunity Program, Transfer Center, Disabled Students Program, Student Parent Center, and Gen X Center. Really great resources that provide a lot of support to students in dealing with life at Berkeley, with accommodations, mentorship, and more. So on the topic of student services, the last few things that we have in this Lower Sprout area, on the direct opposite side, that is Eshelman Hall, which is where the ASUC, or the Associated Students of the University of California, that's where their offices and meeting spaces are. ASUC is our undergraduate student government body made up of senators that represent different facets of campus life. They also have space in here for student organizations to meet. And I believe, I don't think this changed, that in one of the floors of Eshelman, there is a prayer room. So if you are someone who needs a quiet space to pray during the day when you can't really go back to your dorm or your house, there is a space there for you to really connect. Now over here on this last building is Martin Luther King Jr. Student Union, which is a hub for studying, eating food, and generally just hanging out. The Student Union is also home to Amazon Walkers and the Multicultural Center. Amazon Walkers are really helpful when you are just on campus and you're already here, so you can pick stuff up. Downstairs, we have a bunch of small restaurants, sort of pop-up shops. So if you're hungry, you can eat there. So now we're back at Upper Sprout. Typically at the end of the tour, the guide concludes with a story or a reason for why they chose Berkeley over other schools. I will admit, my reason for choosing Berkeley was because something just kind of clicked in me. And when I came to visit, there's not really a reason I can explain. The best explanation I can give is that the vibrancy of the campus really came across when I visited. I really wish that you all had the opportunity to visit campus when, everyone was just sort of there, and you can really feel the energy. And hopefully you all will be able to experience that sooner when public health guidelines allow it. But I do want to conclude on why I appreciate my time at Berkeley, especially now that I've graduated. Berkeley challenges you to think critically, to be independent, to take initiative. By engaging with a community with diverse backgrounds and experiences and perspectives, it challenges you to think about the world in a different way. And being surrounded by similarly driven peers who pride themselves on getting to Berkeley on merit, it challenges you to put yourself out there and to take steps towards the unfamiliar. So what I'm saying is, go Bears! Thanks for attending this tour. And before we all hop off the server, I don't know if anyone from Blockeley wants to chime in with any last things.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that tour. Like I said earlier, I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast, the stream. If you guys want to keep up with Blockeley, our social media is either Blockeley or Blockeley Official. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Basically, if you search on most social media pages, we will have it there. If you want to become more involved, we do have a Discord server and a builder application, which is available on our website, blockeley.com. Other than that, yeah, thank you so much for attending.
Sorry, what about questions?
If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put it either in the Twitch chat, I call it in the Discord chat, or in Minecraft. We'll handle questions for a few more minutes until we end the stream. So Highway Joestar, the server is on 24/7, 365. We have a called the server will be on at any time of the day. So if you want to ever come back on the server, just feel free to log in whenever, whatever, on either Java or Bedrock Edition. And then I see Coach TCG in the Twitch chat. He says, "How can I become a builder or create content to help?" If you have any content to create, you have our permission to go on the server and record anything. Just ask us beforehand and let us know. If you want to become a builder, I believe like Blockeley, the Blockeley account mentioned in the Twitch chat. If you go to blockeley.com, we have a link to our builder application. Our email, if you want to contact us, is info@blockeley.com. I will put it in the Twitch chat as well. We'll keep taking questions until 1:50. If you guys have any others. All right. Well, it's 1:50. Thank you guys again so much for coming. If you have any other questions, feel free to put a chat in our Discord, or feel free to join our Discord. Other than that, thank you again for coming. I hope you guys have a great day.